I want to say welcome to this special edition of I Never Knew TV. We got Maj Toure, Rizza Islam, King Randall. Appreciate everybody coming. And I have to say shout out to Mo. This really Mo Vision, tell you the truth. He told me about this a long time ago, and he just worked out that you brothers are here.
Yeah.
So we give thanks for that. So shout out to Mo, right?
Shout out to Mo.
All right. We have too many practices that don't seem to be serving us collectively and solving our problems. One thing I've been observing is religion, right? Are the religions practiced by Black people in America helping them deal with the spiritual, mental, family, and economic challenges they're experiencing in today's society?
Who's first?
I'm gonna start first because I believe mine is gonna be 100% pessimistic. I do not believe that collectively. I'm not saying that there's not. Yeah, collectively. I don't think that collectively, the vast majority of, and I say the vast majority, I don't know of many churches that are feeding the community like the Nation of Islam does for decades, that have farms, right? So the outlier does not mean that the general public is in alignment with it. That's almost like the exception. So if overall the practices that we're doing, are they economically, spiritually, and physically empowering our communities? Absolutely not. When you talk about, this talking point, everyone knows it is true. During Jim Crow, the Black community was advancing in the middle class section of life, even with Jim Crow rules over top of it, more so than the white middle class. So that means that now there's a difference in the spiritual practice than between then. So to me, overall, no, I think that we have been infiltrated. I think that the thought process is to keep, you want to keep your nonprofit status as this tax, as this church. You say this is your leadership. I think there's an unseen hand, and I don't think that I think they're a far cry away from when it was the pressure of we got to work with each other because ain't nobody else coming. So I don't think right currently, maybe even over the last 30, 40 years, I don't really see it collectively operate in the same way. And I don't see a way back from those areas. I think they're collectively doomed.
Oh, well, I would say the improper practicing of the religions is what's killing the communities. For example, I mean, even Muslims, Christians, none of them are actually practicing the principles of these books, especially, again, mentioning churches, etc. None of these churches are serving these communities. Where I live, we have about 400 churches in our hometown. No moves of God anywhere. And a lot of these, pastors, etc., they're becoming politicians in their communities. And a lot of these churches I mentioned before, they actually benefit financially from the communities being in turmoil. These churches apply for grants, etc. Like, oh, well, the community is in this condition. We need $1 million grant for this. So they'll get said grant and never fix it and apply for the same type of grant the next year. So it's like they're constantly benefiting from the community being in turmoil. I mean, what does it benefit, seriously for a church to have people that don't need them? So again, we have to look at those institutions like, are they actually trying to benefit the people? Then on top of that, they're who's teaching the people. So it's like they're thinking that this is how it's supposed to be. This is what our religion's supposed to be, because they're not reading their Bible for real. They're not actually going to go challenge their pastor. Their pastor's providing them a place to stay. Their pastor is, providing them a job at the church. It's like little stuff like that keeps things in control. Even mentioning again, like the improper schooling. There's no way we have so many churches and the kids can't read. It's insane. Why don't we have that happening at church? I've even said before, I don't think that church needs to be for anybody over the age of 33. That's why are y'all at church? There's no reason, nothing you can explain to me as to why we still preaching to anybody older than that. There's nothing we need to talk to y'all about. You 60 something years old, still in church. I don't care. Why are you there? If anything, we had this kid get killed, a drive-by shooting or whatever. Don't know who did it. I don't understand why we were at church on Sunday preaching about it. Why aren't we outside? The kids that we need at the church are outside playing on Sunday.
Right.
Why aren't y'all out there with them? I don't understand why we're at church. That makes no sense to me. At this point, with the conditions of our community right now, you cannot explain to me why we are at a church building looking at how terrible our communities look.
But we fresh in that joint though.
Fresh.
Fresh in that
Looking
joint,
great.
Fresh.
Looking great. The purses, the shoes, the hats, all that. When you post this, and I'll post it on my page too, I need everybody to explain to me why are you at church when our communities look like they do? Because the people who need to be at the church are not there, and you ain't going to get them.
You brought up a great point, and I want to get back to it. I want to hear what Rizza said. You brought up 2 great points I want to touch on. I want to hear Rizza real quick.
Oh, y'all done set it off with this one, man.
It's getting kicked off the end of the day, bro.
It's going to be beautiful. Oh, man. First thing I'll say, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan has said, all religion has failed. Mm-hmm. Said it one more time. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, all religion has failed, end quote, because Satan has been successful at infiltrating all religions, starting with the top 3 monotheistic religions or Abrahamic faiths, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Although there may be people who do their best to practice certain principles, live their life out, but certain principles, the collective clearly has not been as successful as they think. To the points of both of the brothers here, also to be incentivized to remain in a slave-like, victimized position has come through by ways of the FBI or faith-based initiative funding of churches, has come through by ways of only praying, not doing any actual work, only praying 5 times a day, face to the ground, not getting up, not changing your condition, not exercising, not providing any food, clothing, shelter, no jobs, no literacy programs, no drug education, none of that, but just praying, and Allah, God, the Most High, will do everything for you. And the other thing is, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan also mentioned that we should argue over religion after we're free. So the priority must be us getting to a level of freedom. That means we have the ability to change our condition. We have schools, we have hospitals, grocery stores. We have the ability to protect ourselves, defend ourselves. Our children are strong. Our finances are strong. Everything that we're doing is actually building the community rather than just praying, like I said, praying and hoping that some sky daddy, some random God is going to come out of nowhere to change our condition for us. And that's why also the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that my greatest followers are still in the streets. So we have to be in the street helping the people. It's literally, we're saying the same thing. We add in different ingredients to this pot because the reality is, again, we can walk around and call ourselves whatever we want to call ourselves. But the Honorable Ms. Farrakhan has said, you are not what you profess, you are what you practice. So you can say whatever the hell you want to say, but what are you doing? And what we are doing is not enough to change our own condition.
And I want to go back to what King said in regards to church has a similarity to social media. I think the people in church feel fulfilled as if they're doing something because they speak in the safety of their own group, like social media, like you're posting, but you're not doing anything. So I think it's the same psychology that's taking place.
Because them neurons is firing. When them neurons is firing, like if you hook somebody up in a sleep study, the thing that they think they do and the thing that they do, the same neurons fire off in their brain. So they feel like they did it. You know what I mean?
It's that dopamine shot.
Question is, we have an elephant in the room that we can't blame on the white man, and it's called molestation, right? Why do you believe it's so rampant, and why are we collectively as a people so quiet about it? Because the way I look at it is this, man, it's just like, we speak about generational stuff. I don't think anything is more generational than molestation. Because it's very hard for a person who's experiences that to bounce back. It's just the reality of it. They have offsprings, they struggle with their children, they struggle with their relationships. Their children struggle with their offspring and relationships from that activity that took them. And white dudes not raping most of the kids.
So I gotta add a caveat to that question. Are we saying as it relates to, because overall, if you're talking about convictions, it is mostly white males. If you're talking about pedophilia,
black children?
You said specifically
specifically black children, specifically black children.
All right.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
Yeah, specifically black children.
That is granddaddies and uncles. And all these uncomfortable.
And teenagers too.
And most of these uncomfortable Thanksgivings we having. And I was talking, on a video previously about younger family members who have experienced that, experimenting on younger cousins, their brothers and sisters, whatever. I've had a student that I didn't know recently, his mom called me, he's like 20 now, but she was like, she got like 6 kids. She's always working or whatever. Then she finds out that the son has given the little sister a STD, and this is just happening at home, and she had no clue, and then she's in like a rock and a hard place because she's like, okay, my son, this is my child, and he has to go to jail. Then I also got to support, my daughter too. Even another situation I talked about previously, one of my students, and these all young kids. And to be honest, I brought the conversation up before about young boys and young men, even with it happening with older women and young boys. I still like have yet to find anybody that's in my regular circle who had been molested growing up. Whether that been by a woman or a man or whatever. And so it's like, we don't talk about it. Or we'll say, oh, that's incestuous white people stuff. I'm like, no, incest happen in the Black community every single day. And grandmamas know about it, and uncles and everybody. It's just, we just stay away from Uncle Joe at the family reunion. I don't go around Uncle Joe. Or why ain't we reprimanding Uncle Joe? Why are we just allowing him to be around if we know he say little stuff to the little girls? Or like, why is that normal? Why is it acceptable, in our community? So again, it's like, do we care about protecting our kids, and then, just looking at how many parents went through that, they're almost scared, because of what Uncle Joe did to them and what he said was going to happen to them. So they're just like, I'm gonna just keep, my kids away from him and scared to go around. I mean, it's a lot, talking about molestation, but that is a huge issue in our community that we refuse to like truthfully address as much as we address the economics and the hospitals and this and that. I'm like, nah, let's talk about the family dynamic here in our community.
I think that's a big source because people are broken. And we have the system still, but a lot of people are broken because they were violated sexually.
I just think it's because people are afraid to be violent to people.
I agree.
You just got to be violent to people. Violence is an answer for a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? It's not the only answer, but when violence is the answer when it's the answer.
I agree.
And I think violence can be an amazing deterrent. I think that violence is something that if you were thinking about this and you didn't know that this was wrong, I'm talking about even from a children's perspective. If we see Uncle Joe get lit up, get beat up, get harmed, physically violated, that child recognizes a different lesson from that. Like publicly, I'm generally not a fan. Like I don't beat children, right? Me personally, my daughter don't have to, right? Yep. But adults, 100%, there should be some sort of violation. That you posted a video a couple of days ago. This dude ran up on the fruit, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that, man.
And I'm just like, this dude will never do that to anybody ever again. And it's just a good lesson.
Gotta get
it's just a little bit of straightening. And I think it's going to sound like I'm kind of making a justification because I can always tie things back into government involvement in our community and turning it into something that need not be, right? So when you got government overreach into a community, when there was, we got issues in the community, we deal with the issue. When you get more government involvement and people tapping into the government as opposed to the people in the community dealing with it, now even something as simple as reprimanding, and you can leave the children out of it. If we're talking about the adults, right? If we all just beat Uncle Joe up and there's nobody goes to jail because the state said you can't do that, I think we get some of those issues solved. So I'm always a fan of the individual accountability and the individual being held, to the standard. But I'm also not going to let the government skate out of how they put things in the mix to make sure we're not really handling some of our own issues.
No, great point. In Jamaica, they call it jungle justice. You get what I'm saying? And you want to be reprimanded or held accountable for what you did to that person because they violated the program.
Right.
Yeah. See, and I'll just mention it this way. When it comes to family business and things dealing with our family, it has only perpetuated this long because we haven't addressed it. Okay. So I know, for example, when it comes to certain family members, I've witnessed where a family member was reprimanded or held accountable publicly. Things changed after that. We became nervous because the government got involved, where people started getting arrested when it's like, well, no, we don't necessarily want this person to get arrested, but we want to handle it, make it, make an example so that everybody else in the community knows not to do this. Okay, cool. But we know once the government gets involved, they are the ultimate, so-called negative side of things. Okay, because now they're going to potentially take somebody away, make money off of them being taken away, really destroy them in prison, and do a whole lot of things that wasn't a part of our original plan. So one thing is we have to take responsibility for our own children, our own women, and the men. In whatever way that needs to be done, it has to happen. We have had so many stop sex trafficking moves that we've done. We held a major rally in Atlanta where we were pushing to stop sex trafficking, stop the abuse of women, children, young boys, young girls, etc. And so many people had no idea that this was at a rate that was so high because it's not being talked about.
Yeah.
It's a very real thing. And the other side of it is too many people are benefiting from it outside and inside. So you have women who are involved in pimping these girls, helping to encourage them to go into sex trafficking. You have men who are the old school version of it. But if you want to be very frank and real about it, we can handle what's happening in the present, but we also have to also simultaneously educate about how it came about in the past. Right. So you have to learn about the history of the MFer. Right. What happened to us, how they put a paper bag over the black man's head and forced him to have sex with his own mother to make more studs, more children for the slave master. We have to learn about how they would literally have little boys, little girls dance around each other on the plantation to get them enticed into sexual behavior, sexual activity, and how the slave master would also have bed warmers, little girls, little boys come into his bed to warm the bed. And then of course he'd do whatever he wanted to with them. So that traumatic circumstance does carry down. And scientists have now looked at the fact of something called epigenetics, where it transfers down through the DNA of the people. So there are certain traumatic things that many of us may not have gone through personally, but on our DNA, our ancestors have gone through it, and it affects us to this very day because of what they experienced yesterday. So there are a number of things we have to address, but as far as what's happening in the present, it has to be seen publicly that you need to address this person. No, you can't come around the family until you absolutely atone, apologize. After you get these hands put on you, you're going to get whooped in front of everybody because that's the punishment. Right. We don't want to kill you. We don't want to end your life. But we want to get close enough to where you understand that that is wrong. Right. It is absolutely wrong. So again, per capita in the black community, it is something, it's a virus now that has infected a lot of our people. And again, because too many people have either been involved with it themselves, affected by it themselves when they were younger, to where that's why they don't want to really address it, but it has to be done. And then I believe other people will respect us a whole lot more.
And I want to hear what you have to say about this also. We agree that this generation is over-sexualized, and I understand they have more access to porn and other things. But do you think because the molestation is so high, that's playing a role why the children are so over-sexualized?
I think it's a recycling bin logo. It's a chicken or the egg, and it's like this feeds into this and feeds into that and feeds into this. And if you don't have an extreme disease, extreme treatment, if you don't have an extreme stop, it's just going to create, then the person is molested, then they're molested, now they're over-sexualized. It's like almost like we can't deny that the feeling of the sexual feeling feels good. And if a person doesn't understand that because they're young, now they feel good, but it's weird. Now they're over-sexualized, now they over-sexualize somebody else. So we could have a chicken or the egg conversation, but I just think that there are entities and beings that are deliberately doing things to make sure that the recycling bin logo continues. And that's the part that we got had an extreme, treatment for.
Yeah, it's definitely something we have to do something called correction and proper education at the same time. So the things that will be corrected and properly educated. For example, we can't have artists out here promoting sex all day long, knowing that the end result is more than likely diseases, broken homes, perpetuation of trauma, etc. It has to be educated properly and then corrected. We have to make it clear that you will not promote in the house or out of the house, things that have literally contributed to the destruction of our people. It has to be put in proper context. So we can't co-sign one person, approve one over here, but then say, well, no, when it comes to the house, I don't like what's going on. Well, what she is saying, what he's saying, what they're saying is literally a product of that. And it's going to create more of that. We have to address the amount of STDs. We have to address the amount of broken families. We have to address the fact that some women let their daughters and encourage their daughters to do the sexual stuff. We have to address the fact that some men encourage the boys to do that. We have to always, from now on, address it head on, again, or else it's going to perpetuate. And really, the government side of this is they're clapping because they want us to take ourselves out through our own pleasures. So they push the STDs out there, many that were created, some, rarely some, that were mutations in nature, but for the vast majority, created, and they want us to perpetuate that so that we can die out because the ultimate agenda is depopulation. So our own traumas are being used for our self-destruction.
You know what that made me think about? Why was Sexy Red invited to a school? Like to this thought process, right? Like then you say, oh, she can't come in here because she smells like weed. So her message and what she was talking about, that's not adult, it's not child friendly. Y'all said, yeah, come talk to the kids. Talk to the kids about what? So this is where I mean, like, okay, someone sanctioned from the state said, we are aware of what this person's catalog is. Someone from a school at a school board said, you know what? Bring her on out.
Yeah, and what's the motive?
Right.
What about the taste of the consumer? We criticize the people that produce the content, but what about the people that consume it? Because it has to be a market and a profitability there for me to put my energy into that.
Not
so
really, though.
I want to hear.
No. The best-selling hip-hop artists in the last 7, 8, 9 years have been 3 things. 3 people, hip-hop. Best-selling. Drake, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. None of them overtly, especially maybe Drake here and there, Lover Boy music, but overtly, they not like, yo, you gotta whoop-de-whoop.
But the question I would ask is, what is their fan base and who's consuming their music? Is it more
a
white person vibe or is it the black community?
Whoever's buying it, the vast majority of the sales, even though they're not getting tremendous pushes like Sexy Red would be, and not to attack her, she's doing whatever she's doing. She's a sister, right? But even with all of that, Cole show up, Kendrick show up like when they got an album and they go away. They're still outperforming in the sales than all of the debauchery. I am of the belief that those other people are getting pushed. It's not, because if it was the thirst of the consumer, they would be having equal sales. They're not. They're not. I think that there's obviously a propaganda machine going, this is who you actually like. This, like, these people can't rap. Drake, Jay, they can rap. Cole, Kendrick can rap. These other people, they are in alignment with an investment move. But I got other investments going on. You just one of them, put them out there. You know what I'm saying? I contend that it's not the taste of the people. I think if I get on a camera and make it look like it's 1 million people and it's really 7, and then I make it look that way, then it's like, oh, and then it just appears that way. The sales do not reflect it. The City Girls album, you don't even know the name of it.
No, never heard.
Right?
Yeah.
They might have that one single, but they not hitting the numbers. So I believe that it's like, yo, put this thing in your face so we can get secure bags and investments over here. But the consumer generally, they're telling you the #1 selling albums have nothing to do with that.
See, and to his point, the propaganda machine literally is pushing to destroy the family dynamic. They're investing a lot of money in it, a lot of time in it. The reality is, as you said, no, the numbers don't reflect it. The talent doesn't reflect it because the people's taste buds are now starting to taste what this crap really is. See, when you force feed somebody something, eventually they start to throw up. Because it's like, whoa. Yeah, I can taste it. Right now, Sexy Red, it's obvious that she was pushed along with a lot of other people. Again, we love our people. Many of them are very ignorant to the fact that they're being used. They think that, oh man, this money coming in, these contracts coming in, these new gigs is coming in, they must like it. No, the reality is you are being used for an agenda. The consumer is being told what to consume. The people are easily led in the wrong direction, hard to lead into the right direction. They don't even know what they like half the time. But if they get bombarded with the propaganda over and over again, like this, eventually they're going to like it. What did Joseph Goebbels say? I believe he was a chief propagandist under Adolf Hitler. He said, if you tell a lie big enough, long enough, the people will come to believe it. And the same thing happens when it comes to music. Same thing happens when it comes to fashion. You put a big paper bag over your whole body and say, this is new fashion, it's $1,000. People going to say, well, damn, I'm going to pay $1,000 because that's fashion. No, it's a big paper bag. Right. He must be crazy if you're going to wear that. You see what I'm saying? So we have to make it to where the people, which they are doing now, and if you read the comments under the majority of these posts, when it comes to a lot of these artists, they like garbage, hot garbage. Why are they pushing this person? What's going on? That's why I have a lot of these new artists who they're not even able to make it to 3 years, right? Because they never had the real motive, and they were also given false hope and this false sense of, I'm actually doing something real good. I got some substance, when they don't. They were purposely put there. They were purposely manipulated to believe that the negative they're pushing out is what the people want. That's why a lot of them are quitting, from Saweetie all the way down. A lot of them, their album sales are terrible. And they're also trying to keep them afloat by having them go and visit the White House, right, or go to certain schools. Right. And the people are like, that's not a Black representative. That may be a Black artist, maybe, but that's not somebody who represents us. So again, we love our people, regardless of the artists and all that, but we have to always remember the fact that when this system is trying to control a people, they use the artists and the leaders to do it, right, and they manipulate the people to believe that that's who you should follow. Right. That's how this is going right now.
Right. I'm speak from the arena of children. I will say, and I'll speak for my area, I guess. And most of the children I come into contact with, they hate our artists. Drake, J. Cole, people we listen to, they hate their guts. They're like, oh, that's trash or whatever like that. Who they love is the people that we're talking about now. Sexy Red, NBA Youngboy, they can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
Or even some other underground artists. Like I follow my students on social media on purpose just to see what they're doing and listening to or whatever. And the stuff I'm hearing, like these are unknown artists. They're finding underground artists that are talking about just straight debauchery. Like, but that's what they like to hear. They like NBA Youngboy. None of them live in his lifestyle, but they love the baby mamas and they love the whole shtick of what he talks about. So they try to live like that. Like, what I believe happens is, especially with parents and what's just going on right now, we forget. I don't think we understand how much impact our kids are going to have on our nation in 10 to 15 years, which is why I work with kids so hard. And I'm just like, one of the biggest mistakes I feel like our civil rights leaders made was not training replacements. And that's where we messed up at. That's where immediately after the civil rights generation, the 80s, 90s or whatever, because they're responsible for raising the debauchery right now or whatever. But that generation or whatever, grandma's crack epidemic, blah, 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 or whatever, all of that happened because nobody had trained or replacements in that time. So nobody was in that group, like making sure everything was straight or whatever. On top of that, letting go of shaming. Shaming used to be a thing, and it needed to be a thing. And so now, now everything is just accept every single thing that happens. Don't do this to your child. Allow your child to. No, my child is not going to make that decision. He's 5. Right. He don't understand nothing. So I'm going to tell you this is what's going to happen. No, you don't have no feelings today. No, this is what's going to happen. Right. He plays baseball. He asked me to play baseball, but he's sleepy for one game, so he's like, I don't want to play. Oh, his mom was like, okay, we can go home. No, we are not. Right. You made a commitment. You are going to play. If I were to post that on social media, oh, you're trying to force him into blah, 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 blah. Because a lot of people care too much about what folks have to say and they post everything. So when you posting your whole life and everybody's giving you their advice, you're not living to how you were raised or living to how you think you should. Or so now you just allowing your kids to do whatever. Now your kids got social media because all the other kids got social media. And you don't realize, and I tell parents all the time, go check your kid's phone. I do that every podcast I go on. Go check your kid's phone right now. They're meeting up with people you don't know they're meeting up with. They're talking to people you don't know they're talking to. They're sending nude photos back and forth. They're smoking, etc. Yes, your little Jimmy that you raised all nice, who you let make all the decisions in his life, is doing all this crazy stuff. And this is all of them. Like, all of them are doing craziness, and a lot of it is being perpetuated from them being allowed to utilize social media. What's happening on socials with the algorithms, etc., is being done on purpose for those kids. Those kids are consuming debauchery, so that's all they're showing them on socials, to the point where now they're just seeing OnlyFans girls twerking. Like, I just go look at their phone. Let me look at your Instagram Explore page. Your Explore page will expose who you are. That's who you are. So when you look at their Explore, all you see is girls twerking and blah, blah, blah. Of course, you're going to get into OnlyFans, watching porn, blah, blah. So these kids, 11, 12, all they want to do is smoke. They want to post pictures of them smoking. And I'm texting them. I'm like, look, bro, if you going to smoke, bro, listen, handle your business. Stop posting it. Like, what is the point? Like, why? You only got 2 followers. Like, who are you trying to look cool for? Nobody cares.
Smoking for yourself.
Right. But this is 14, 15-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds. I've even taken my age groups down in our organization because I felt like I had been wasting my last 5 years working with kids that I thought weren't too far gone yet. And kids right now are losing themselves at like 8. And they're gone. When I say gone, I mean they out of here. No matter what, So it's like you're trying to, okay, let me go back and figure something out. But I'm talking about these 14, 15-year-olds, bro, they out of here. So now my thing now is, okay, let me teach them a couple skilled trades. Let me make sure they can go make some money. And then life ends up having to teach them. So like some of the kids I work with for the past 5 years, they're getting older now, some in college, and they'll call back and be like, man, the stuff you was trying to tell me at the time, it was fantastic, whatever, and now it's showing in life. But they got kids now, and they done messed up. Life had to teach them in that fashion. No matter how much advice I was giving them, no matter how much I was showing them, they had already been tainted. So then I had some little younger kids coming to the org, 7, 8 years old. These kids, they ain't been tainted yet. They making all A's in school. They want to do their work. They don't care what people have to say. So now I'm character building on top of those kids who haven't been broken. or whatever. So it's easy to work them up. I said the other day, the only kids that I can name out of my program, it's probably 3 kids in my program out of the 5 years that I've been working that I can say represent my org. Why do they represent my org? Those kids were blessed in by their older brothers. I never allow any kids younger than 11 unless their older brothers were in. The only kids who truly represent everything that we taught, character building, etc., are those kids who started at 7 and 8. My star student started with me. He was like 7 years old. He embodies our program. I'm talking about to the T. He don't even have to come around that much. But because I gave him so much at that time versus his brother, they're completely opposite or whatever. He's in college and trying to figure things out. But I know for a fact he's going to be an upstanding young man. And he's never wavered. So it's like we keep forgetting about kids like to a point where we don't talk about them as much as I would like for us to talk about them or even aim at them. Because who's aiming at them? The NBA young boys and sexy, the ones who ain't selling albums like that. The kids are listening to them because our group, I'm gonna listen to Drake and Lil Wayne, whatever. They don't care about them. They want NBA young boys saying, I'm gonna ride around the block and blow your head off and I'm gonna take your girl and I got 10 baby mamas and blah, 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 blah. They love that.
But you know what?
So
I think they like it because of the repetition. I'm always careful to not let the system slip out and get away from their involvement.
I agree.
Of course.
Right? So like, okay, let's look at the list of people that we talked about, right? I in the gym listen to drug dealer music. Like it's murder, death, kill in the gym. Right? It's 100%.
Same a little bit, same.
Right. It's you know what I mean? In the gym, because we have filtration systems as to your point of life happening.
Yeah, we're more mature.
Right.
We understand.
Yep.
I'm saying they do like it, but I'm saying if you don't have the elders or to them, their elders around to direct and course correct, the system is literally doing the same thing that they used to do back in the day with Joe Camel cigarettes. They used to put the ads when you walk into the store, the little refrigerator in the store, that the Camel cartoon ads will be low to their eye line.
Camel.
It was at their eye line.
Yes.
So there was psychology. It wasn't just like, oh, this is the only place we have to put the thing. It was, we want young people, to King Randall's point, we want to get these young people on death early on. And we want to use a cartoon character to do it. The system does the same thing in the algorithm why a school teacher would say, let's bring Sexy Red to this school. The thought process has already been corrupted because the spell is deep and it works. So since the spell is deep and it works, and if you're not active in those extremely young people's lives, they're going to be gone faster and sooner. And the system skates by looking like it's without a trace. It's just the children just happen to like these songs.
There's another problem to add on it. Another part is that the room for correction is smaller, right? So you don't have like these 10 years to get your life together like you did previously, even economically, because you need more skills. There's less stability in the workforce, right? And things are much more expensive. So I think that's the issue with these kids. I think the previous generation, why they don't see it as such an extreme situation now, because they're basing it on themselves. Like, man, I ain't really graduated college, bro. I'm here doing whatever. But it's like there were more opportunities for you compared to this generation, you know? I think you have to be very smart, even hustling. I had a conversation with my boy about hustling, right? And like, in this modern time, I knew a lot of dudes that weren't the smartest dudes that was getting bread, but I think in this modern time right now, you need to be pretty smart to get bread illegally.
Absolutely. See, well, I'll say it this way. The biggest thing, of course, psychologically is they're pushing it. Everything's being pushed heavily, heavily, heavily. The children are listening to people who are ignorant themselves. These are grown children, right? So these are the people, like you said, who were born from those who didn't teach them the right way, didn't give them the right information. And also when it comes to the artists in particularly, I was on Drink Champs with Noriega. And I mentioned this to him because he said, I don't like these little niggas. This is what Noriega said. He said, I don't like them. I can't stand them. He said they think they better than everybody, you know, and all that, because now you have teenagers becoming millionaires off of social media.
Right.
So now they like, no, I'm the big homie.
Right.
You the little homie. Right? So they like, no, I'm making all this money. So, but because money has been put in their face. But what Noriega told me was, I said to him, you know, the younger generation needs the mentorship of the older generation. Even if you think they're not going to listen to you, you have to at least offer it, and offer it as often as you can. Yeah, he did. And he said, I really want to. And I said, no, you need to. It's a need now, even though, yeah, you're going to get some pushback because they're ignorant as hell. They got money in their pocket. They think they're famous now because they got so many so-called followers and all that. So it's a psychological game that the system did by putting you up to bridge or to cut between you and the elders. So now you don't feel like you need the elders because you got a million so-called followers, right? Okay, so I told him, I said, you have to do that. And this generation has to continue to mentor those who are younger because this world is moving very fast, very fast, right? So, I mean, just at that last point, I mentioned to him something called artist development. And he said they took that out of the record labels where they used to teach the artists about credit. They used to teach them about how to manage their money, how to buy land, different things like that. They removed that. So you don't have artist development. You give this 14, 15-year-old a $2 million contract, boom, give them all that money, and they just running, buying up everything, thinking they got it all, having no clue of what life really is about, where things are about to go. So it is being set up, is my point, right? And the algorithm is being pushed same way, like China doesn't push that on their teenagers. Right. China does the opposite. They show everybody being successful. They show martial arts champions. They show people getting degrees. They show all the success of the Chinese. Right. The algorithms out here is flipped to everything that is crazy and insane. So the parents have to be educated. The artists have to be educated, which is something that I do personally when I meet with the children, talk to them, but also I get to the artists. And a lot of them just so happen to follow your brother. So like they happen to follow a lot of us, even if they don't tell us they do, they do. And they watch it. So we have to get to them. That's another thing I'm gonna say. As active as we are, we have to be more active in getting to them. They're not impossible to get to. Right. Get to them. Pull up on them and say, listen, brother, let me tell you this, because sometimes they don't know who that agent is around them. Yep. They don't know that their manager is putting some of that stuff in there. They don't know who their handler is. And every single one of these artists have handlers around them. They may not know. Kanye talked about that. And I talked about that dealing with Kanye. What that man had him on drugs. That was Harley Pasternak, who was a Canadian agent who had him on drugs. Seriously. So there are layers to this. Get to the artist, educate them. Don't give a damn about what they got to say. Yeah, I'm not here for your album. You ain't paying me. Right. I love you enough to tell you the truth. And also because the crap that you putting out there is affecting these children that we're going to have to clean up later on. Right. You ain't going to be down here handling the garbage. Right. So I got to teach you, point out who your damn handler is, correct them, then go teach the children, be with them. So we got to be active in all these different areas. Right. It's a serious situation.
And all you touched on is a great point, right? A disregard for the elders. It's really baked into the system because I know you see this with education now. I know it's with teenagers. Like when I was in high school, if you played D1, you was borderline like a god. You get what I'm saying? And if you played in the league, you was just outer space. And what I'm noticing now, you could be in the league and the kids would disregard you, bro. If you're not like LeBron or Curry, they literally would disregard you like you're some trash person. So this obsession, this praise of money, and this disregard for the elders that you spoke about really creates that schism. And I think that's what Nori was really experiencing because as a young rapper, he would look up to a Coogee rapper, somebody else in his area. Yeah. But he can't process now that he's a legend and you giving him a vibe.
Because they don't know how to, I take it, I don't have $13 billion, but I just take the person in places that even the people that got money, I don't care. Like what can you do this? I can shoot. I can defend life. I can save you in 72 hours. I can stop a bleed. I can put up sheetrock. I can do a tattoo. And if it gets down to it, again, not to push the violence thing, but like, yo, you kind of like a chump. This person that you look at.
Come on.
What's their bench press? Like, I'll get that petty with it. What's your squat? What's realistic? Right? You know what I'm saying? What's your squat, bro? We gonna run for a mile. What's happening? Like, all of those things, like giving a coward a position because of resources, like, I don't care. You still a coward. And so like just making that thing like, oh, he does such and such and such. All right, that's cool. Can he protect his family? Does he know how to break down a firearm? Even deeper, I have so much respect for farmers. I went down to Florida to Miami, right? Huge shouts to the Green Haven Project. Y'all got to check them out if y'all don't get a chance.
Heard about those brothers, family.
They down there teaching people in Overtown, which is the hoodest part of Miami. They have a 2-acre farm. They're growing organic foods, teaching the people how to do it, and giving the food away. Yes. Right? So like a farmer is responsible for everybody staying alive. And so like, the person that you have all of this respect for, Like you got $100 million. Cool. If we in a plane crash and we both live, I could get you to give me your Rolex for like my skill set.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things that you think are very, very valuable in like real life.
Mm-hmm.
In real life, we got to make some of those young people kind of have that understanding. I do it by taking them to the gym or rolling on a BJJ mat or boxing. Their heart is there. But then when I look at an NBA young boy and I go, all right, cool, let's go to the gym. For 2 rounds, we're going to do 10 rounds of jump rope.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. You're not going to make it.
It's over. No.
So all of that stuff that you think is real, all of this tough faces and all of that, like we have to show young people that way because then they're still open to the evaluation. We're not giving them the options of what they're evaluating. The system is going, it's money. It's the like fiat currency, which is wild. But okay, cool. They're making that the standard as opposed to going this, and this. The children will evaluate that when King Randall is out there showing these young people how to change their oil. Do you know how many adults?
That's fact.
Look at the comments.
No, really.
I just learned today watching this video.
Yes. Change your oil, change your tire. Yes.
Right. So these are the things that we just got to broaden their horizons of what are the things that they should be looking to value in and be appreciative of and learn how to do as to develop in their skill set.
Yeah, we have to break the illusion and bring it back to reality. It's the same thing I do a lot of people again. Same thing. It's we all are involved in the community in different areas, and then we have a lot of areas that we're connected in and we're involved in. It's just when people see you off of social media, just with that alone, start with that. Damn, you a lot bigger than I thought. Okay, see, that's how it is in real life because most of the people who you think are big are smaller. The ones you think are smaller are bigger. The ones you think have all this power don't. They're not respected in the hood. It's like, I mean, just like we have to get them back to reality. Again, starting with the children, letting them know, and then getting to the artists, getting to the people in leadership. Really get them to come back to reality. Yeah. Because a lot of them, again, like you said, to your point, a lot of them got all this money, but they still slaves. Right. They can't speak the truth. They can't come out and actually stand with people who are doing the right things. You know, like it's really sad. And that's coming out more too.
They do the opposite. In real life, they like, I hate, y'all hear this all the time. And it's like, bro, I agree with you on everything. You know, don't send me the DM telling me that,
come on, man.
That's folk in my hometown dealing with me. Like they be like, I'm like the guy in Albany where like, oh, we love King Randall behind closed doors. We can't publicly
come out in the
say,
front. Come on, man.
We can't publicly say we like you now because
y'all gotta stop doing that.
That stop.
Anytime somebody does that to me in person, oh man, I just love what you're doing. I ain't seen you share nothing. Right. I ain't never seen you on my page. So that means you've been watching and you ain't been saying it because you're scared of what folks got to say. Yes. I was about to say the B word, but you're a coward.
Bro, it's wild because you actually starting to look like the ops to me because everybody that follow you could follow somebody and be ready to rob them.
Yep, that's fact.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just, it's like a weird dynamic thing of like, you're not, you have this fear. But they do though.
No. They do, but they don't in a sense because they're not committed to losing what they have. So
some are
I would
more
argue they don't have
than
a
they
choice
are
in their mind.
I believe they won't lose it. I believe
they won't. They won't. That's the point nowadays. Okay, we're seeing Kyrie Irving, Kanye West. They stood up to the system in a number of ways, from the shots to being called anti this. Okay, stood on principle, stood with the people. The people continue to support him because they say, you know what, actually, he's right. Why are y'all doing this to him? What is wrong with y'all? Yep. And now they're selling more things. They making more money. See, so that trend has to become more, aware. Like, no, listen, stand on the truth.
Right.
Bet you're going to get paid for it.
Yep.
Like, stand on the truth. I bet you're going to, all the stuff that you think you're going to lose, you're going to gain it a whole lot more. Trust me, stand with the people. I tell people this all the time. Stand with the people.
That's it.
I hear what y'all saying. I don't think they're great examples, bro, because the system benefits so much from them. That's where it's like, if you're on the come up or you kind of shaky, it's not much to take from you.
Well,
but for them, people lose more from taking from them than they would lose. You get what I'm saying?
Nah, but listen, I'm telling you, like, okay, so look at it, right? I used to have this saying where I would say, if somebody left my circle, they never wasn't there. Like, there's nothing like, okay, if I go from, first of all, you're not really, you may not have $1 billion in the bank, right? Okay, cool. They say you're a billionaire to make you feel better. That wasn't the reality. coming back to reality isn't a loss.
Mhm.
So, now everybody's like, he's not a billionaire. He only has $400 million.
Says
Well,
who?
I only had $400 million in the actual number.
Mm-hmm.
Then the argument about, they froze my accounts. Okay, they might try that. They froze your accounts. Then later on, after you ride through this thing, now your accounts are unfrozen because here's the facts of the matter. And that money that y'all was trying to not give me as yay, now you got to give me that and then some. They're going to play the game. If they the bully, they're going to try it. The people that they can get you scared, if I can bluff you, I could beat you.
Mhm.
If I can get you scared and say, I can't stand with King Randall. I can't. There's no way I can be on with Rizza. Bro, your page may get kicked off. Get a VPN. Get another page. Yo, y'all, I'm over here again.
Independence.
That's it.
Yep.
Yes.
And so like these dudes, I think they're utilized. I don't want to give them a way out as much. I think they know that. I think that they act like they want to say that to not have to stand on business, right? They don't want to really do it. So they like, I'll lose a whole lot. You'll lose a whole lot by giving. Why does Randall not have $20 million in donations?
Mhm.
Right? Arnaud is super rich. LV, the owner and all of that, right? I've watched Randall, King Randall, let's be clear.
Mhm. Right. Not another Randall. Go
You know what
ahead.
I'm saying? I've watched him do something amazing, ironically, in the town that my grandmother was born and raised in, Albany.
Wow.
Mm.
I ain't even know that till now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's
Surprise.
like, I don't want to hear about. I've watched, and I want to give both of these brothers their flowers real quick. I've watched an entire town of so-called people in the same community that King Randall is from argue against him legislatively for trying to strengthen the community with a track record.
Mhm.
So I don't give those people a pass or a way out. Y'all know, because the system won't come get you for, hey man, we're just gonna give you this license so you can actually open up this building that you paid for. Right?
Yep.
So like I'm not giving y'all like, okay, so the Rothschilds are gonna show up because you helped. No, not in the town. Because if we all in our own town, if right now at the Solutionary Center on this big old screen, there's Rizza Islam's website. There's products from Rizza Islam in the Solutionary Center for an event after this. The lizard people are not going to show up to get me.
Come on with it.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
some of that's a cop-out. Like, they're not firing up the CERN thing on Monday to get Maj, because the earthquake wasn't because, well, Maj, you're doing stuff in the Solutionaries. That's not what
Come on
some
with
of these people are using this as the cop-out.
Mhm.
And let's say they did come. Let's say they come.
Mhm.
You got a gun, don't you? You know how to defend your situation, don't you?
Come on.
So, like, I can't give them their justification. The reality is, you don't want to stand too close to these brothers because their truth reflects your lie.
Mm-hmm. Every
Mhm.
time.
Simple.
And you could trick other people into, oh no, it's because Rizza went to war with the federal government. Rizza's kicked 18 bajillion times off of social media.
Mm-hmm.
Not you. That's more of a reason for you to support the brothers.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't really give them. I think they being cowards and they got convenient excuses. And those convenient excuses are part of the reason why, like, I don't, I see they play. I see them trying to pivot. All right, cool. And even riding with the pivot. Okay, let's ride with the pivot. Because now everybody got the call. Everybody got the call. Oh, look, Biden was a tremendous, horrible, worthless. We can't do the Democrat thing no more. Now everybody's going to start looking like they more balanced or right of center on those leftist platforms, right? Cool. This is a perfect time to have. Rizza, have you been on the Breakfast Club yet?
No, sir.
King
In fact,
Randall,
I've
have
been
you-
blocked from Breakfast Club.
Oh, King Randall,
Just be specific.
Yeah. Have you been on?
Nope.
Have you been on Vlad TV?
Nope.
Have you been on Vlad?
I will never go on Vlad,
All
but,
right,
I, but I
right,
get your point.
Right.
Mhm.
I would never go on Vlad. Right. I
Never
guess
Vlad.
what you're saying. My point in
Yes,
saying
sir.
this is right. Take the Breakfast Club. Cool. Y'all had Candace on. Y'all had Bill Burr on.
Mhm.
I watched both interviews. Great. Here are two gentlemen that could use and not even could use, like they need it. the community would benefit from the work that they doing. So y'all are pivot and act like y'all really trying to, oh yeah, we're trying to be fair and balanced. No, you're not. If you was really trying to help the community, I've been giving up the conversation of being on y'all platforms because I really want to smack the shit out of a lot of y'all, right? Because of how you're lying to our people. So like a lot of that is like a convenient like cop out, and I just want everybody that's watching this to make sure that you're figuring out a way to financially support these brothers. Financially, like we ain't leaving that word out because the system that we up against, they can literally print money out of thin air,
and they do
all the
day.
time.
Black people's addiction to seeing their brothers and sisters fall. Right, and also there's a part 2.
Yeah,
I got to throw it in. I'm just gonna throw it out right now. There's a part 2. Right?
Yeah.
Have you reached a point in your life where you are genuinely happy for someone else's success? That's part 2 of the question. But let's go part 1. Right? What's up with Black people's addiction to seeing their brothers and sisters fall? I want to give context to it. Right? We always talk about hating this and that, but what I notice is like with the Diddy situation. What I notice is it's not like Diddy got exposed or whoever got exposed and it's going to change their behavior. I want to be clear. Like I'm not supporting certain things. They're still supporting things and they're still supporting other people. They just find joy in a person's downfall. You see that on a bigger scale and you see that on a personal scale. And I'm pretty sure you guys have experienced this a lot. What is up with people's addiction? Our people to seeing their brother and sister fall.
Man, I don't know the reason why yet.
I just know y'all doing it.
Yeah, and I could guarantee he got the answer in a second. Right. He know. But man, I'll never forget when I was trying to purchase the school from the school system in my hometown. I was trying to purchase a school and I called out the superintendent on national news. Could I have left it local? Yeah, but he had pissed me off comparing us to Burger King and McDonald's. So anyway, I went on national news and I dropped the bomb about what he had been doing for those past couple of months in regard to that contract for us to sign, for us to buy the school. So we had already had a couple of $1 million donors promised 6 figures in endowments, etc., for us to be able to buy this school. And we had already had made promises and everything. Now, mind you, the conversations never moved forward until we went viral with Roland Martin that first time. Then all of a sudden they come back, oh, well, we want a full partnership now. We're going to help you with the funding and blah, blah, blah. So we get the contract back and the contract says that the building should contain a usage restriction that we cannot operate a private or a charter school out of that building unless they taught the curriculum. I said, absolutely not.
Oh, no.
So now, mind you, I'm thinking my hometown would be like, oh, nah, they trying to railroad that man. So the superintendent, we met privately and agreed not to publicly say anything else about it. We was going to publicly shake hands to shut all the fuss up. He goes and says that I said this and that online and blah, blah, blah about the school. Now, I had told the press that we were in negotiations and we were about to purchase the school because we had you had to give me the keys to the school and everything. So I'm just like, yeah, we got the Isabella school. We finna get ready to boom, 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 because everything is in kind. Right. So whatever, but we still waiting on the contract to be signed and I didn't agree with stipulations of the contract. So anyway, he goes in the newspaper and says all this stuff about me and blah, blah, blah. Oh, my hometown was ready. Oh, they all on social media talking about personal life. Oh, the King Randall a liar and this, that, and the third. And blah. I mean, they were, when I tell you my hometown, it's like they were waiting to say something about King Randall. As soon as I messed up, well, they thought I messed up anyway. So I'm talking about dudes done start them podcasts to talk about me and everything. I mean, it was insane the amount of hate that my hometown gave me during that period. So then I decided to finally say something and go on my Facebook Live and I pulled out every email, every receipt, every piece of the contract, every conversation that was had, every phone call. No, it went quiet. Nobody said nothing. I had one dude that started a podcast about me to come back and apologize privately. I'm like, I ain't mad at you coming to apologize because he's like, why was you trying to build my platform? I'm like, but you could have said something.
See that?
You could have said something. That's why I still don't respect him. I'm like, I can respect you a little bit for apologizing at least. But now you ain't gonna go say nothing publicly. My bad, we was wrong. And I'm trying to, this the same school system everybody complains about, by the way. So I'm trying to sound the alarm and y'all come get me because y'all just don't like me because I was able to make it out of Albany and try to bring the bread back home. Because that's all I be trying to do. Ask me what I do all the time. Donate to the restaurants. Donate to other nonprofits. Make sure they got what they need. Calling them, see if they need anything. Ask them, do they want a partner? Everybody out there so scared of me. And I'm just like, what did I do to y'all?
I didn't do nothing.
Like, you know what happened? Everybody supported me when I was nobody, right? When I was at my house working out of my dining room, the hometown would bring water, they would help us out, give $100 here and there, whatever. The hometown, the moment I went viral with Roland Martin, everybody act like they could never talk to me again. I swear to God. Like, everybody immediately X'd me out, especially when Trump invited us to the White House.
He's a clown too. I just want to be very clear. Roland Martin's a clown.
Yeah.
Like, he's a tap dancer. He's a jigaboo. Off top.
And he know it.
I just want you to touch on, I know you broke down things, but could you real quick before they go?
It's a pregnant topic for all three of us.
Why are people so offended when you tap into that area of progress or you just try to be a great brother? Why is it so offensive to people?
Now, I will say, I guess it's a little trauma too, because you do got a lot of people from my hometown that did make it and they have completely shut out the city and don't come back, don't say nothing. We got NFL players from our hometown, won Super Bowls and everything. They won't come start no nonprofit in the hometown. They won't come work with the kids. They got nonprofits in other cities. Yeah. And I'm like, we are the 4th poorest city in the whole country. Y'all couldn't come back and do a little clinic with the kids and playing football or something. Then if they do come do a clinic, they'll make it outrageously priced. Like you can't come do something free for the high school that you played at. Yeah. You know, like this, and I ain't saying, people got to do stuff for free or whatever like that, but we've had so many celebrities come to our hometown. I can almost get why people get, they get famous and they leave and don't say nothing, act like they ain't from Albany. Or we got this, the city over from us, it's called Lee County. It's more white people stay there. They'll claim Lee County and won't claim Albany. Like, you ain't played football with me your whole life in Albany. And you went and played 1 year there, and now you from Lee County. You all on you ain't from Albany no more. You don't claim us. I'm like, so I can get why the hometown do be, a little skeptical about people making it. But if I'm constantly in the community, I'm feeding people, donating, people need kidneys. I'm constantly out with people trying to make sure parents got what they need. I'm out here making sure the kids eating, got haircuts. I'm doing everything for free, by the way. I don't charge for nothing that I do for kids at all. Like, everything we do for free.
I'll say a few points. Number one, we have all the smoke for each other and none for our open enemy.
Jada Kiss got a line, bro. He says, support a brother. What do you say? Support a brother you don't know, hate on a brother you know, something like that.
Absolutely. Well, because, see, one thing we never want to really look at is the trauma that we share as a people. We have some of the biggest collective trauma. We genuinely do. Too many of us have become successful, left the community, like you said. Too many of us have betrayed people to become successful. Too many of us have sided with our enemy against our own people to become successful. We've done damn near every wrong thing to where the people don't even believe we can trust each other. We're not supposed to be sitting next to each other right now. According to a lot of people, there's going to be some comments like, oh, you got 3 crazy niggas. Oh, you got this. Why are they up there? This right here should be the norm. It should be normal to see brothers from different states, different cities doing work in different areas, coming together to show a demonstration of unity, brotherhood, education, solutions. This should be the normal situation here. But because what this looks like is, damn, I gotta work. I don't have no excuses no more. Damn. That's what a lot of people are afraid of, is the fact that you have to get up and do something now, because you see brothers who are doing things, but you don't want to work. You just want to press a button. You want to complain. You want to act like, oh, we ain't got no solutions. We don't have no help. We don't have leadership. We don't have real program. We do. You're just not supporting them. Right. You're not getting involved. You don't have to always have money. You can actually volunteer. You know that, right? You can come out and help with the children. You can come out and help with the programs. You can literally come and help with educating and providing solutions. You know this is possible. You can actually donate your time. You can do that too. But a lot of people don't want to work. They're afraid. They're scared. Too many of them feel like if they get involved, it's a commitment now. And I ain't really trying to do that for the long run. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different layers. I've heard people, same thing. Call me privately because, for example, the 10 years that I was fighting a case against the government for helping the children, mind you, I was helping, educating children about drug education, literacy programs and all that. Literally tens of thousands in Compton, Watts, LA, Southgate, Linwood, Gardena. And they literally said, 1, the program never existed. 2, you didn't help nobody. You didn't educate anybody. Literally, you said none of this happened ever. They put a case on your brother that I was fighting for 10 years, offered me 6 plea deals. been to court over 30 times. Literally over and over and over again. And they kept saying, look, just take this deal. Just take this deal. And I said, no, I'm not taking a damn deal. What are you talking about? No, we've been helping people for years. You don't just have all this knowledge overnight. The hell are you talking about?
Right.
This is work. So after all these years, people counting on my downfall, tons of videos from our own people, large YouTubers, tons of people, commercials, Channel 7 News, this channel news, just bombarded. Yeah, Rizza Islam, the fraud, to this. In June of 2023, first day of trial, they even offered me a plea deal the day before my trial started. Just to see if I was going to bite so that they could say, yes, he pled guilty to something. Yeah, no, I'm not. We showed up at trial, ready to go. Tons of photos with my black lawyer from a black-owned law firm because I said I'm going to put my money towards that, brother, and help from the people. Now, I got to give a shout out to the people who financially did contribute because they said, we've seen his track record, of these brothers who've been doing the work. These brothers, there are people doing good work. They said, we're going to support. They did that. We showed up first day of trial. Within the first 5 minutes, guess what they said? The judge said, how would you like to move forward? They said, well, Your Honor, we do not have enough evidence to move forward at this time. How do you attack me for 10 years? Lie on me, smear me in the media, social media, all these platforms, and you don't have evidence to prove what you've been lying on me about?
Why are we here?
Brother, case was dismissed in 5 minutes. So my point is this, and have I received apologies from these boot-licking, buck-dancing Negroes?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
But you will apologize because the reality is you can count on somebody's downfall, but if God is behind you, the Most High, the supreme being in the universe is behind you, you have to continue doing the work. That's something I appreciate about these brothers because regardless to what anybody has to say, they continue to do the work. That's all we have to continue to do. People are going to pray on your downfall because one, there is envy and jealousy as well. Yes, they don't want to work. Yes, they want to have all the smoke for each other because it's easier to have smoke for us, but not for this federal government who've been doing the same thing they've always been doing to you and our people for decades and decades and centuries, but you don't want to have no smoke for them, but you always want to attack us. And we're not making excuses. We're pointing out the real culprits, which is our own people and this system collectively. So if we're going to do that, let's also do it on the opposite end. Point out what they do, point out what we do, and then support those who do the real work while also pointing out those who are not and encourage them to get involved too. See, it's a layered cake of things. But if you keep preying on somebody's downfall, you're going to lose if they're doing good work. And to the last point when you brought up Diddy, a lot of people don't give a damn about trafficking of girls because they're involved in it. A lot of people don't give a damn about molestation or rape or anything like that because they're involved in it. A lot of them all of a sudden right now are trying to pretend like they care so much about people, care so much about Cassie, care so much about this. Stop it. You don't give a damn about them because if you did, you would help the people in your own life who are the same victims of the same thing or the things that he is being alleged to have been a part of. And on top of all that, y'all see what the hell is going on every day in our community. You ain't changing nothing. So stop with that fake outrage. It's this emotional, oh yeah, we got one black man we want to applaud while he's going down while y'all was getting jiggy to his music. All these damn, stop it. Stop it. I don't like that, bro. And I can hold our people accountable while at the same time educating them. We can condemn what they do and not just wholesale throw them in the trash. We can do that too because we have to acknowledge the good that they do while pointing out the bad and saying, no, sir, that's wrong. We don't do that over here. Hold them accountable. If this person is guilty of whatever, okay, they must face the consequences. Cool. But I'm not going to say, see, all black men. No. See, all black women. See, all. No. We can hold our people accountable. Put their feet to the fire. Give that community justice, which I wish it was community justice, for the most part, where we handle business and not get the system involved because that's what we need to do, like most nations do, family business. And then, of course, hold others accountable for doing the same thing and then continue to show the positive example. So again, there's a lot of layers to it, brother, but at the end of the day, it's you don't want smoke with the real enemy. You want to have envy and jealousy and you don't want to work. If we get rid of that nonsense by continuing to be the example, I think more people will get involved.
I'm always gonna blame the system for it.
Because it is real.
It's real. I'm always like individually, the one individual that's doing it, I'm like, yo, this is what you're doing right here. But I never let the system skate.
Absolutely.
So I always go, even when I'm talking to the individual, I'm like, yo, that's not your thought. You think that's your thought.
It's fact.
Somewhere you got conditioned to believe. And as we break this conversation down, I'll go, this is where you thought this and it's wrong. Now you're doing it, but I understand you don't even see your Geppetto. You don't see it. And I do. So I'm gonna hold both accountable. The false accusations, at this point, I'm low key kind of like, if I'm not getting some sort of pushback, false narrative pushback, I start getting nervous because it looked like a setup to me. It's too easy.
Smack 'em on.
You know what I'm saying? It started to be like, y'all walking me in this room, like, is this the hit? Like, you know what I mean? It's too much rose petals.
Don't eat the food. Don't
Right.
drink
I'm
the drink.
like, people, like, and that might be a toxic trait that I picked up.
No,
But
you as
realistic.
a man know hardship
Yes.
and pain is what brings the growth.
Yes.
So when you ain't getting no hardship and pain, I'm like,
Somebody
something
set
ain't right.
me up.
Yeah,
right?
like I ain't hurt myself. I ain't
Right.
tripped. No scrape on my knee.
Right.
Nothing.
What's going on?
Too bad.
It's almost like I don't, like, people send me stuff to the center. People will send chocolate. People will send, we go to events.
Chocolate?
Yeah, people
Go
send
ahead,
me,
bro.
they send me chocolate. They
Oldest
send
trick
me
in the
like,
book.
they'll come to events where like I drink Dunkin' Donuts. They'll bring Dunkin' Donuts. They know I like coffee. And it's great gestures, right? It'll come in the mail. I don't eat it.
Good job.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's I may be wrong every time. I'll take the picture, but maybe I ate some of y'all stuff that sent it. Not you. If you think I'm talking about you,
It wasn't yours.
I 100% ate your stuff.
That's funny.
Right? But I just think that they don't really recognize, they haven't read enough, man. So I'm not giving them a pass, but they don't really understand how this thing go. They don't understand that from the time you was watching Sesame Street, they did psychological things to the colors that were chosen, the height of the characters. These people have not read Propaganda by Edward Bernays.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, they don't know about the Tavistock Institute. So because of that, I'm just kind of like, oh, you just don't know how you gonna get puppeteered around. So I explain it to them and take it kind of like a moment, but I'm never gonna let the system skate. The system is there. There's a great book called Please Stop Helping Us. You're there specifically to continue the chaos and confusion. It's like when you burn the roof of your mouth, and it would heal if you stopped like tonguing it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
There are people and things there specifically like messing with the scab. So like I can't have a conversation about Diddy if Epstein allegedly killed himself, if he's allegedly dead, if he's whatever, right? And not talk about, well, he's in jail or dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail and dead for selling, who do they sell the children to?
And open up all the names of the blocked list that you have.
Right. So you want to tell me about Diddy? All right. Okay. And I also know that this seemed to happen right after he got into it with Diageo. So like, and again, I'm not, if he did it, he did it. Give him his due process, 100%. Rumors are not facts to me. You know what I'm saying? And his sexual proclivities as an adult with other willing adults, I'm not arguing with him about that.
I never do.
That has nothing to do with
You're
me.
a grown man.
Children and drugging people, different conversation.
Yep.
Right? However, it's my brain is not even set up where I could just look at Diddy and there's a list of people with redacted names that people are supposedly dead or in jail about. Like the fact that we would joke and say Epstein didn't kill himself before he allegedly killed himself speaks to the level of there's other things at play, and you want me to look at this person and me knowing that mentality of those lizard type people, right? Those are the people that create the propaganda that in every moment is a teachable moment for me. So every time they showing me this, I'm going, like right now, there's arguments about Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. Meanwhile, Putin is like, yeah, like literally on a world stage saying, I don't want to nuke y'all, but I will. Like that's what's happening right now. So for me to talk about that lower level thing or being, let's say Diddy's a CIA, FBI informant, as a lot of people in the music industry are. Let's say he is. Cool. Who put him in the position and allowed it for 30 years? Right?
Never want to smoke with the real enemy.
Right.
We'll even side with the enemy.
Right.
Yes.
It's, crabs in the barrel. Who put us in the barrel?
Yes. Crabs don't belong in the barrel.
Come on, bro. Like, so like my brain can't even comprehend that one without the other. It's like, It's almost to me like going to the gym and only putting one plate on one side of the bench press.
You must. Okay, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you going in there doing this, and I'm like, nah, you got to where's the other plate?
Mm-hmm.
Put the other plate on there. Then we could get a full workout in this session. It's my set. Let's get both plates on.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, we imbalanced, and you know what I mean.
See, just to real quick add to that, that's the other part of the we don't want to work side of things. We are really quick to jump on opinions because we don't want to research facts.
Mm-hmm.
I call them intellectually lazy people. You already know what I'm talking about. You would jump on an opinion. Right now, you got somebody commenting like, I ain't listening to nothing they got to say. Okay, that's fine. You ain't got to listen to nothing I got to say, but just don't open your mouth.
Right.
That's all. Just don't say nothing to anybody because you'd rather listen to an opinion because it's easier, takes no work. Man, I get mentally exhausted so quick. It's like half of y'all can't do a push-up, a pull-up, bench press, nothing.
Yep.
Right? But you complain about everybody that does. Okay.
Right.
All right. Because people are like, man, reason why you lift. Okay, brother, just don't run up.
They're mad because
Right.
their wife is watching.
Right. Right. That part.
I say that every time.
That part.
Okay, see what I'm saying?
Right.
Come on. But so the point is, again, we have to be willing to work. If we are not willing to get the facts about something, please stop talking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't jump on stuff just because you like the person. Even when it comes to me, don't believe everything I say just because you like me.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't like that. And I've told people this plenty of times. Do not believe what I say just because you like me. Now, if my track record shows for the most part, absolutely been on point, okay, that's great. That should help. But you should still research for yourself. And they don't want to research this enemy, history, science, nothing. They don't want to learn how to defend themselves. They want to only complain. I'm saying whoever this applies to.
Right.
But when it comes to our people, again, we have been easily led in the wrong direction, hard to lead into the right direction. We have trauma when it comes to study because we couldn't read or write for years, or else we would literally get killed for it. That's an epigenetic response of our trauma. So we're like, damn, if I touch a book, I might die. That's literally, brother, exactly. So all of these are layers to it. And also when it comes to the Diddy circumstance, anything like that, this is not every time you bring up our people, we got to bring up a white man. No. It started over there. Because we were physically raped by white men on plantations and buck breaking farms. So you gotta, again, if you don't want to really look at the actual topic and research the history, then just stop talking. Right. Because all you're doing is you're demonstrating how ignorant you are, how emotional you are, and you don't want to really get involved with actual logic. So that's the only thing I got to say about that. Because again, we can hold people accountable, bring out the truth. But if you're not willing to put that information in your head and then carry it into action, there's no reason why you should be talking in the first place.
Yep, and everybody ain't built to lift per se. When I say lift, everybody ain't built for this work.
That's a fact.
So then when...
That's the biggest fact.
Yeah, it's the biggest fact. You're not, because using Diddy, for example, I can understand why people are scared. Mm-hmm. Why? Because when he been doing this, whatever he's doing, if he was for a year, they didn't know about whatever he was doing. Mm-hmm. They wait until... you done did something too much.
So they about to be found out.
Yeah, yeah. And they like, okay, well now we finna pull it. Like, for example,
we need justice.
Yeah. Like I'm
for him though.
Yeah, just for him though. Right. But this is what they do to you. So like every phone call you done made, every text message you done sent, even if you are good, they are gonna find a crime.
Yes.
Like they will. So
or create one.
And to be honest, I always say, if you ain't even just really just in your work, if you ain't been looked like the police ain't trying to try to get you one time,
right?
At least. Or whatever, like, but that's what they'll find a crime, no matter what, and so that's what happens in the world. You just can't be a coward, or whatever. You have to just be like, okay, you know what, this is what I believe in for real, and I'm willing to die about it. Mm-hmm. Old man law type stuff, or whatever. But everybody don't believe in man law no more. So, but you got man like, listen, I'm willing to go to jail and die about what I believe in here. But that gets you respected amongst the people. But everybody ain't with that. Everybody want to live their American Pie life. They want to go to work 9 to 5, barbecue on the weekends or whatever like that, and go on vacation, once a year and live. That's it. That ain't our lifestyle. No. That ain't how I'm trying to live. Yeah. Even every woman that you may come into contact with can't live that lifestyle for you. I had to tell a woman one time, listen, dear, you need you a 9 to 5 man. I'm not that guy. Right. I'm not the guy to be, listen, I'm not going to barbecue on the weekend. I got stuff to do. I got kids to save.
And I like barbecue, but I
love it.
Right.
I love it.
Can't.
I might barbecue once a year, but I ain't every weekend. I'm not able to go on vacation all the time. I ain't here to call you cute every 5 seconds.
I am not your destiny.
Yeah, no, I got stuff to do. This is not my destiny, and sometimes I believe that everybody ain't. You have to sacrifice part of that love sometimes for what you're trying to do.
The mission.
Exactly.
Yeah,
the mission is more. That's why you have to get with somebody that's equally yoked.
Yes.
If you are not equally yoked, hang that love crap up, bro. Like hang it up and stop trying to force it because this person may be powerful or you like what they're doing or whatever, but you know you ain't happy or whatever. Go find you a 9-to-5. Everybody want the Ferrari or the Corvette so they see how much that transmission filter changes and how much the oil changes and the parts. Go get you a Toyota, man.
Get you a Honda.
And get you a reliable Toyota, man, and you good.
You know what's crazy,
That's
bro?
it.
I just think that people don't really understand the work. That's really the argument. The work. Like even if it's just like billionaire, right?
Yes.
Like I want to be a billionaire. All right, that's cool to say.
Yeah.
Do you know like what their life is like?
Man.
Do you know the amount of like
there's an ignorance to success because when you're hearing speech, that's why people are critical. That goes into the jealousy thing too.
Yes.
Because I notice I'm not saying successful people don't hate on people, but it's a respect there.
Yes.
Because they know the work that's put
Too
in.
busy working.
You know?
Like people say 9-to-5, and shout out to those working 9-to-5. We appreciate y'all and love y'all tremendously. You already know that.
Yep.
A 9-to-5 is different from a 24/7.
Right.
Yeah, and that security is like
big difference.
People can't deal with not having that security, and I think that's what separates most people. Where it's just like you're just out there, bro, and it's ups and downs.
The best way that I've explained it to them is like, yo, Michael Jordan was a great individual player his first few years. He kept getting like destroyed. The Pistons, the Knicks, the this, the that, whoever, right? The Celtics. Yo, you don't know if your team is going to win. You just are committed to the team.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And the overall concept. But like Mike is going to look like now, if you get there and you keep putting that work in, all right, you got your opportunity. You might be able to 6-0 this thing like Mike did. But every year is going to get harder.
Yeah, people can't deal with uncertainty.
No, and it ain't the 2 weeks. Or I did it for 30 days.
Wow,
that's
tried
cute.
20 years.
Right.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of work and a lot of time.
What are your thoughts about FBA and other people that deny their African ancestry? What are your thoughts about that?
Shit.
Y'all gotta make it quick, yo. Y'all probably gotta do about 2 minutes each.
Mine's like,
I don't want to. Look, bro. I knew that was a reason.
I'm excited to hear what they got to say right now. I want to hear.
I'll keep it short. All of those communities get so offended so fast about anything. Yeah. Like, and I don't like that. You know, it's like any word you say, if it like, for example, or they'll use it as a insult. Like these guys, like they thought I was African. So omit anything that I was saying, oh, he from Nigeria or something like that. I'm just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, all of my ancestry is from, but why does that matter? Like, it's even if people want to claim America, we had just as much, you know, to do with building America as anyone else, if not more. Fine. If you want to come to America, great. I ain't never been to Africa. Most of my family members was here or whatever, so cool. But even I don't have no problem with Africans. If people want to identify as being African, fine. What are we doing to move the collective? That's all I care about.
Yeah,
these identities, they be the first one talking about how the white man try to divide everybody. Bro, y'all up here divided by who the blackest. And if you doing like, come on, bro. I don't be having time. Those to me, I'm sorry. Those conversations be completely idiotic. The FBA, all them ADOS and who this and who that, all of those conversations are idiotic. They don't matter. I don't think they matter at all. We just have those conversations on Twitter half the time because it ain't in person. I ain't arguing nobody in person about whether they African or black. We talking about this work. But all of this talk is annoying. All the fake accounts to talk about whether you're African and all that. It's stupid, man. I think those conversations are stupid.
Yo, I'm trying to
condense it, bro. You gotta condense it, bro. You got about 2 minutes.
It's not. I don't think it's. I understand where they're coming from. When you recognize the identity's been stolen, you want to try to put the identity back. Mm-hmm. When the pendulum's starting to swing too far to each side, becomes imbalanced. You know what I'm saying? And I think that whatever work they want to do, we got a community center. If they want to have classes on ADOS, FBA, whatever, indigenous, whatever, Hebrew Israelite, cool. Economically, we're in all of it, as the late, great Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said, the areas of human activity, education, entertainment, labor, law, religion, sex, war, in those areas, if you want to help benefit the community, we have a community center that you can use for free. And the areas that we disagree with, we don't have to talk about. And the areas that we agree with, we could do some work around. So like, that's my take on it. That's the politically correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm working on being a politician.
You funny, man.
I'm approaching.
Bump all that.
I just say we have a lot of labels, but overall we're in the same condition regardless of what we got to say. This system considers us to be collectively N-words. They don't really care too much about us regardless. We have to become independent, build our own everything, separate from the system. There is no way out of it. We can call ourselves whatever we want to call ourselves. Police does not ask you your description when he has a gun over you. Okay? Are you FBA? You black? You Hebrew? You nation? You more? They don't really care, even though we have those labels. And I admire us for at least learning about our history, learning about our culture, attaching ourselves to any one of the labels that all belong to us anyway. But right now, again, we have to work. We can't keep getting divided. And remember, the system uses those labels to divide us and then infiltrates them and has agitators inside of all the conversations.
Correct.
From Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all over the place, as well-meaning as these movements are, even with the good intentions, you already know how it is. Of course, we want to find ourselves and build as a beautiful people, but we have to remember that this system does not like that. So we have to come together, as Most Honorable Muhammad said, our unity is more powerful than a hydrogen or an atomic bomb. And the last thing I'm gonna say is we have to stop saying stand on business or we standing on business until we know what it actually means, and stop saying protect this person at all costs unless we are willing to die for it.
Exactly.
I just want to thank you, brothers, for passing through.
Right?
And sharing your wisdom was definitely a vibe.
This is beautiful right here, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Please,
great.
sometime we can do it again. Yeah, hopefully sometime we can do it again. All right.
You got these brothers to work, man.